So, moving a little slow today, but that's because we are spending some time brainstorming and thinking, because the challenge of being entrepreneur and sales guy is sometimes you focus too much time on one of those areas, and when you're focusing on one, the other one gets neglected, right? So if you're focusing on sales, typically the company of the vision of the company, core values, how we grow, how we move forward, that kind of gets lost in the shuffle. If you focus on culture, that's why I got my main man there. If you focus on culture, guys, you lose revenue, right? So there's this fine balance of saying, okay, we gotta grow and I gotta think about it, but at the same time, I gotta grow and I gotta think about it, I have to also sell. So it's a fine balance. So this morning, usually for me, shower time is a great time and place to think and just have some good ideas about how we may grow, right? And so how do we go from a 1.5, 2-man shop to growing to get some of the growth goals that we say we want to hit and go after. So that's the challenge there that we're facing right now. And that's where the work comes in of brainstorming and thinking, working with smart people, asking a ton of questions, being willing to be what I call the dumbest person in the room. And that's what you want to do. You know, if you're going to be great, man, you have to be willing to be the dumbest person in the room. But what typically happens with a lot of CEOs and founders, the reason they don't succeed, and I've been that guy several times, multiple times, I've been that guy, is that we tend to not want to be the dumbest person in the room. You want to be the smartest person in the room. So therefore you hire people that you're smarter than, and it only takes you so far because you just can't grow with it. You can't grow with it, man. So it makes life really difficult as you kind of climb the ranks, because you don't have anybody to ask questions. You know, you can't bounce ideas off of people because you've hired in a way in which you're the smartest person in the room, and it hurts you in the long run. It makes your ego feel good, but who wants ego? I prefer success, helping people, and a profitable company that's cash, right? Versus over ego any day. But that's me. That's Alex. E to East. Heading over to the stadium. Cool part is we don't have to set up really, so we're already set. That's nice. Things are already kind of there in place, rocking and rolling. So we will get to, we'll grab a little something to eat. Meet a couple people. We made a couple promises that we'll give some people some stuff. The goal is to kind of get that to them. See how the day goes. So we'll prep for the rest of the day, enjoy the rest of our time here in Denver. Although we've been kind of working most of the time, Ronald and I, it's just been kind of downtown hotel, back to the stadium and back. And so we'll see, man. But lots of fun. This is kind of the lifestyle of the entrepreneur. A lot of times people talk about traveling and that kind of stuff there. They're like, oh, dude, you're all over the place. You're traveling. And I'm like, dude, I'm working, right? And so therefore what they fail to realize is a lot of times you're not necessarily enjoying the city per se. So you're not partying it, living it up. You know, you're working, man. You're out really hustling and making it work. And so a lot of times you go from hotel room to the place to meet with a client, to talk and do business, and then you're back, back in the hotel room, getting ready to do it all over again. Dream job number one is to retire, do well in business, retire and be a dancing crossing guard. Oh my God, dude, I would make kids' day. Every morning, jazzing them up, getting them pumped up for school, doing the latest, greatest dance, and just keeping them, letting them know that they're rock stars. Man, that would be hilarious. It's so much fun. Dancing crossing guard. I've started practicing already. I volunteer at my church as a parking attendant on Sundays. Just got on the parking team, man. You should see. Oh, dude, having a good time, man. Already prepping for once business goes well and you sell a company, dancing crossing guard, baby. Like, who the hell is that dancing crossing guard? Making kids' lives, changing kids' lives and impacting them. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. about this dude. What did it cost this guy who owns Coors Field to build this? Time, what did he sacrifice, what did he give up? How many birthdays did he miss for her, whoever it is, right? And then you have to come back and ask them, was it worth it? Right, that's the tough piece right there. And that's where the entrepreneurial dilemma lies. Is it worth it? And pretty cool and interesting to see what you think about as life, as you get older, as you talk to older entrepreneurs, you get to ask them those questions. You know, if they could go back and do anything, what would they do? I constantly like asking that question just because it helps me think about what I should be doing now. And it's just a great question to ask and think about. And you don't get the right answer all the time. I mean, you don't like the answer you hear all the time. You don't necessarily agree with it. And so you kind of still go your own route sometimes, but it's good to ask that question to start thinking and focusing in on some of those areas. Relationships. So older guy told me in his 80s, said, Alex, it's all about relationships. When you die, man, he was like, listen, I made tons of money, I've lost a lot of money, but the relationships that I've had and the lives that I've impacted means more than that. I'm not thinking on my deathbed about the dollar signs and how much money I made. Hey, good morning, Miss Sandy, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Oh, we up here, I think we got the drill this time. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. So the relationships and the lives you impact, right? Because ultimately that's your legacy. When you think about it, that's the impact that you make with the relationships, and that's family, that's friends, and a lot of times we sacrifice those in the chase of and the pursuit of business, and that's not cool, man. Not cool at all. My least favorite answer, truth be told, my least favorite answer is not spending so much time on yourself, being selfless. You know, because we all have a tendency to be selfish, right? And so to hear that, you're like, oh, that's not what I wanted to hear. You want to hear grow my empire, make my empire bigger, better, and faster, stronger. But, you know, when you hear that from these guys, man, it's important, and it's kind of cool to think a little bit about that, and how you do that is important. And that's what, you know, you see at this event now with Tim Spino. That's what he's all about. That's what he's done. That's what he's building. It's pretty cool that he's doing that and investing in other people and making connections and relationships to make other people's lives better, but make cool, intimate relationships that he's building. That's what he's doing. This is the guy we're talking about right there. That's him right there. Good morning, good morning. So we'll set up in our room and then grab something to eat real quick. Have a cool keynote speaker this morning. We'll hear that keynote and kind of go from there. Good morning, sir. How are you, Mr. Larry? And then we'll go from there and have fun meeting some people, changing some lives, and focusing on that rule that I don't like so much, being selfless, you know? But it feels good. I tell you, it feels great being selfless once you do it, once you get a hold of it, once you start doing it. But it takes some time to adjust to that. I'll tell you that now. So we have some cool meetings coming up. The first one is with Christenson Electric. Great company in Portland, man. Great company in Portland. Did a training there before. How you doing, Pat? Good to see you, sir. Had a great one, great meeting there with them. But get a follow-up, so it should be really, really fun to see where we go with them, talk some of the stuff that they've done, how it works for them in the past, and see what it looks like, their future growth moving forward. So be a great time, man, great time. I'm driving, got my headset in, so I'm driving, heading to the airport. So I'll be there. I'm just leaving the hotel. Heading back to the airport. Been a great day. Packed half day, full of adventure and excitement. Life of Alex Willis. All right, so we were talking. Ronald got a chance to hear me and one of my team members, and just the challenges of growth, right? The challenges of growth and the ups and downs of when all parties make a mistake, drop the ball, and how do you handle that? How do you handle that? And so what I told Ronald is this, is number one, and I hope you heard this from the conversation, and please interject, as we're talking to. But number one is you got some leaders who chew their people out. And what I've come to realize is that if you've hired the right people, you don't have to chew them out. If you've hired the right people, understand that they're passionate about their work, and so if they happen to make a mistake, that matters to them too. They care about that. If you have people who make mistakes, they don't care, you've done a bad job as a leader hiring the wrong people, right? Who aren't passionate about what they do. So ideally, when leaders spend too much time chewing people out, you waste and spend a lot of emotional energy. And as a result, when you waste that energy, you lose productivity. And one thing as an entrepreneur and starting business, you're always trying to be productive and trying to move things forward to say, how do we get better? How do we constantly improve? And emotional energy is a real killer of that. And so therefore you want to find healthy ways to do that. And one way is really taking ownership of some of that problem. Because you got to understand, when anybody drops the ball, the person who dropped the ball first was their supervisor or their boss or the leader. Be it poor communication, be it poor delegation, be it not circling back to make sure they understood. There has to be some ownership from the leader in this whole process of saying, I jacked up also in this, and I take personal responsibility, and I need to see how can I get better. By doing that right there, what I've learned is people on your team will learn to respect you more, and they see it as a team effort and not you just pointing fingers saying who's accountable for this, who dropped the ball on this. And so it has been a great method that I've learned over the past, and I've done both. I've chewed people out as well as I've coached people up, and I prefer coaching them up because I remember me being a former player, understanding that as a coach, you're trying to win games. You're trying to keep your players' head in the game. So what do you have to do that? And most people, if you chew them out, man, mentally they've checked out. And so therefore you still need this person to be in the game and a part of the game, and they're not because you've chewed them out. And so you don't want to waste that time, that energy, that space. You want to create open communication. You want to constantly take ownership of the challenge and whatever happened, so that your people feel as though they're in this together with you, and it's not you pointing the finger at them. And as a result, you get people beginning to think about how they can solve problems versus being mad and staying emotional in their feelings. No one moves forward when people stay mad and emotional in their feelings. You ultimately want to get people from this right side, emotional side of the brain, to the left side, ultimately thinking, how can we solve problems and how can we really begin to move the organization forward as a result of those problems being solved. And so ideally, that's the best way that I've learned to handle it. And so number one, it comes down to hiring the right people. If you've hired the wrong people, you're going to struggle with this. It's not going to work for you because you have people who are kind of maybe clock pushers, and they're not excited or passionate about the work they've done or they're doing or that they've done in the past. And you haven't done a great job of engaging them, helping them see how they're a part of the vision. Because even if you have someone who is hourly or is working hourly for you or contracting for you, if you make them feel a part of the vision and a part of the team, they'll run through brick walls for you. So it comes down to wanting to be a great coach, seeing how you can bring everyone in to the vision to be a part of that, helping them take ownership. And when they begin to take ownership, they really buy all into the vision. And as a result of that, when a mistake is made, they feel bad about it because they've taken some type of ownership over it. What I've come to understand and learn is that really, truthfully, all of us want to perform at a high level. We may not say it all the time. We may
arrive at Denver International Airport.
We may not do our best work at times, and partly because we're afraid of failure and afraid of failing. But we deep down inside of us, we want to do well, and you want to succeed big. And so that's beautiful over there, dude. Holy cow! There the mountains go right there, right? Holy smokes, that's beautiful. So yeah, so that's how I'm learning to deal with it. And you want to constantly, well, what I've done is, my team, I'm letting them know that we're going to have these problems, these challenges, and it's okay, it's healthy, because we're in a growth stage. And as we're growing and as we're expanding, it's important for us to realize that this is going to happen and this is natural to happen and it's okay. About to leave Denver, Mile High, great city, a lot of fun. We had a lot of success here, I think. I think it was a great trip. Now it's time to do work and do the follow-up. There we go. So we're about to go through security so that they don't think we're trying anything funny. We're gonna cut cameras off. We'll pick up where we left off after we come through security and we're safe in a safe zone. And where they won't tackle us, because we don't want that. That would not look good for the camera. It may make good for TMZ, but not for what we're trying to do here. So, see you in a little bit. Just got off a phone call with a company called Lighthouse Electric. Cool company in Pittsburgh that we're doing a foreman summit. So we're doing a 3-day foreman summit. So man, it is all out, 3 days. You know, he was just talking about dinners. So we'll do trainings in the morning, trainings in the afternoon, and then we'll do intimate dinners with the crew, with select people in the evening. So it's going to be it's a goal, man. It's a doozy. You know, that's a marathon. That's what you call in the church world a revival. You know, where you gotta just really go all out, dude. But that's gonna be fun. Change a lot of lives in Pittsburgh. Right now we are waiting to board to head back to Atlanta. And from Atlanta we will head over to Gainesville, Florida, back home. I think we get there about 12 a.m., if I'm not mistaken. And then, man, I get up that next morning at 4, drive to go see a client in St. Augustine, Florida. So, a lot of fun, man. Hustle life, hustle, hustle, hustle. Finally arrived, Atlanta, Georgia. We are here, almost back to Gainesville. Fun ride on the plane, got some sleep, but as well, read some things for scaling up. Really, really good content, man. I mean, I got a lot of stuff to do and people to find, to put in place, to find out how we're going to scale and really make things happen. It's a challenge, but it's a challenge I'm willing to face. It's gonna be fun. Man, what is our product? Our product is making people's lives better. No. That's what we sell, man. We're selling how to make people's lives better at home, at work, in the community. Overall, I feel as though we have the solution to help them be better people. And as a result, we have better companies, you know. And so a lot of people may come in and say, well, you're selling a solution to the company. No, we're selling people, right? And so our job is to ultimately, if we feel that if we can make people better, as a result, the company will be better, their families will be better, their life will be better, and life in general, the world will be a better place as a result. So we focus in on doing that, and we do it through all kinds of ways. Some of it is live training, some of it is app-based training, so that we can get that frequency in, because it's hard for people to take off work to get trained. So therefore we mix both in. And even looking into some new things, after sitting down talking with Microsoft a little bit today and seeing some of the platforms that they have, man, they have some really cool things that we can just tap into to help train people even better and faster, more efficient, so that we can be productive at work and at home at the same time get trained. So, yeah, man, that's what we do, Ron. We train people, man. We make people better. Hey, back in Gainesville. Great trip to Denver for E13 conference, and made some great connections. Looked at other industries, some great partnerships made, but always great to be back home. It's about 12 o'clock, so I've had my man Ronald on my time on the Alex Willis schedule. That get up at 4:30, where I have to wake him up, turn all the lights on, and work from 4:30 to 12:30, man. No naps, all go, go, go. So we made it back safe and sound. Great trip, like I said. My next thing is I'm up at 4:30, rocking and rolling. I gotta meet a client in St. Augustine, so we'll get a couple hours of sleep. Won't get a workout in the morning, so we won't have time to do that, so we'll have to do something to, you know what, I think tomorrow's a rest day anyway. Yes, rest day, so we'll have fun. So it's been a great trip. We're out, guys. Here, man, see this white Mercedes right here? That is not it. It is the one next to it. The Cars of Champions. You thought it was the Mercedes, didn't you? It's not. It's the Toyota Matrix. Yes! Great on gas. Low key. When you're not a real car guy, you know what, man? You just want to get around. And you know what? This is functional. My daughters laugh at it. They're like, Dad, we're getting in the Blueberry. Yep, you're getting in the Blueberry. Dad, why don't you get another car? Nope, I'm not getting another car. No need. We'll ride around in the Blueberry. My guys in construction, they laugh and joke, and they're like, dude, your wife has you in the grocery getter. Yep, I'm in the grocery getter. So they have a good time with it. But hey, you know what? It's all in fun. And you spend it on things that you care about. And cars for me right now is not one of them.